Hebrew month of Shevat is all about spiritual renewal, growth from within, and connecting to the earth. In this month, we're celebrating Tu B'Shvat, which is the tree's New Year's. And today in this video, you're going to learn how to tap into this powerful energy of the month of Shevat and how to use it to elevate and help your transformation and spiritual growth. If you're new here, hi, I'm Remy, a certified naturopath and the author of The Lost Wisdom of Rambam. I've been teaching dozens of seminars across the United States, helping people connect to their spiritual heritage and live a better, healthy, well-being, rounded life with ancient wisdom from Kabbalah, Rambam, the sages, and my 13 years of experience. Shevat is the 11th month in the Hebrew calendar, which is based on the lunar calendar, so basically the moon. Every time the moon ends a cycle, and then we have a new moon. This is basically Rosh Chodesh, when the month begins. So Shevat, being the 11th month, is asking us to deepen our connection to God and God's creation, which is nature. And of course, we have Tu B'Shvat, which is the New Year's for the trees. And it reminds us that we are also rooted, we are also connected to the soil, to Mother Nature, through connecting to the divine, to the Creator. The energy of this month is growth and inner nourishment. And in this month, we are being reminded to respect the trees, to respect nature, to respect God's creation. The Creator created all of this beauty that's surrounding us. And we are also being called this month to practice more patience and trusting the process, because if you think about planting a tree, when you plant a tree, it takes years, it takes decades for you to see any of its fruits, because if you ever planted a tree, you know that it starts from a little tiny seed that you put in the soil, but then it takes so much time in our physical world for it to really grow and bloom. And this is what it's all about when we're talking about trusting the process of life, because you might be planting seeds and you might not see the fruits of those trees anytime soon, but you have trust and you're connected to the Creator, and you know that at one point you'll be able to bear those fruits. Tu B'Shvat is the New Year's of the trees. It reminds us the connection that we have with the earth, with the soul. Tu B'Shvat specifically is talking about the connection to the land of Israel, to the Holy Land, the land of milk and honey. And it reminds us to be grateful for everything we have to eat, everything we are able to nourish ourselves with. Tu B'Shvat is on the 15th of Shevat. And the question that you can ask yourself around this time is, how can I bring more gratitude into my day-to-day? How can I bring more gratitude through mindful eating before a meal? Sitting down, maybe saying thank you for the food that I have in front of me. By the end of this video, I'm going to share a few more reflections to ask yourself at the beginning of the new moon, so stay tuned until the end. This month, we're being reminded that the tree is actually a metaphor to our soul. In Kabbalah, a lot of the times, humans are referred as trees. For a man is the tree in the field. Dichotomy talks about it. Ha'adam ke'ish hasadeh. And if you really think about a tree needs inner strength. A tree needs true, deep foundation. It needs time. It needs trust. It needs a lot of other components to be able to bear fruits. And if you think about the tree foundation, those roots, these are your spiritual roots. These are your connections and practices that you do to connect to the divine and to the Creator. And then when the tree grows through beautiful process of nature, then the tree can bear fruits. And this is looked as your purpose in your day-to-day life. What do you do? How do you treat people? And this invites us to ask the question, what is my spiritual purpose? And where are my spiritual roots? Or if not even spiritual, where are my roots? Where am I ready to put in roots. Growing up in Israel, I remember that Tu B'Shvat was such a big celebration for us kids, because we used to have a day that would be like a field day, and we would go to a field, we would plant trees. It would be a whole process. We would celebrate, we would say prayers to the trees to grow and be fruitful. And it's just such a beautiful time to connect to the earth, to Mother Nature. And I personally find this to be amazing, because we always need this beautiful, gentle reminder that we're actually are all one, and that we're actually all connected to Mother Nature. The astrological sign this month is Aquarius. Aquarius is a water sign. It represents flow, innovation. It represents beauty. It represents the source of life, which is water. Aquarius encourages us to think a little differently, to think about the highest good of all, the collective good. Aquarius has this deep trust and understanding that there's wider vision, and it encourages us to start looking at this brighter future. So Shevat is a month of visionary thinking, of opening your eyes, of looking at things from a different lens, from a different perspective. It's also an invitation to balance the inner work that we do with the outside work that we do out there in our jobs, in our day-to-day, with our families, every single moment, right? Because if you think about a tree, while the tree grows, that also gives oxygen to everyone around. And especially when the tree grows and it has fruits, it also gives from its fruits. So we want to start thinking about the collective good, about the higher and wider vision of what's best for all. And especially nowadays, with everything that's going on outside in different places around the world, that there's such dark energy, this is such a beautiful time to think about the highest good. And even when you're praying and asking for something for yourself, always remind yourself that it's for the highest good, that what's ever good for you is actually good for everybody else. Because when you're good, when you're taken care of, when you have your cup full, then you can give more to others, and therefore we can shine more light onto the world. During the month of Shevat, we are looking at higher ecological awareness. Tu B'Shvat is a day that we are reminded of being grateful for the earth. It's also actually rooted in the Torah to respect the earth. There is this beautiful cycle of every 7 years to give the earth time to have 1 year of rest and not do anything agriculture related, to give the earth time to recalibrate, to rebuild. And this is such a beautiful value. And it really, again, reminds us how we as humans, as people around the world that sometimes live in cities that are not connected to nature that much, how are we still able to connect to nature? And you can start doing that by asking yourself a simple question with, how is my wellness practice and how is my self-care practice supporting the earth, supporting Mother Nature? Is there anything that I can do a little differently to support the highest good and the good of Mother Nature? And of course, as promised, here are the reflections for the new moon and for Tu B'Shvat itself, which happens in Shevat 15. Also, make sure to look at the description below, because I have more reflection questions for you. Grab your journal, light a candle, have a glass of water or maybe some tea, and start writing. It's such a beautiful practice to tap into this energy. So the first question you can ask yourself is, what are my spiritual roots? Where am I throughout my day can practice more grounding? How can I ground myself more? And the second question is, what inner growth is now growing inside of me underneath the surface? This is a beautiful question, because a lot of the times we are always looking at the goal that we want to reach to, the place that we are wishing for. And sometimes we forget that there's some things that are happening underneath the surface that nobody sees, that nobody knows, that nobody watches. And only when we silence ourselves, when we meditate, when we journal, we are connected to this higher voice, your inner voice. And that's when we can find those out. So again, go to the description. I have more questions down there. And if you like this video, please stay tuned, subscribe to my channel. There are going to be so much more videos like that.